Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Oh, it's Friday. Two of my three teams pick up victories yesterday. We have fights in the end zone, the NFL. Helmets being used as clubs. Season-long bans being handed down by the NFL. And I'm ready to go here. We got no football game tomorrow, and that's a good thing as Arkansas uses the bye week to heal, get prepared for the number one team in the nation. We got Arkansas basketball in action tomorrow. They'll take on the Montana Grizzlies. That's something we'll get into later on during this show. Maybe the best part about this Friday is that my friend in the ESPN Arkansas studios, Ty Richardson, looks like he's feeling his best of the week. Ty, it's been like a whole week of illness, but you seem like you got a little pep in your step, a little spice in your chicken. Is it the Baylor-Oklahoma game that you're preparing for tomorrow, or is it? Did you finally get some spicy food? Did you get your Rocephin shot? Did all of our halftimers' remedies finally figure out a way to heal you up? Because you, my man, sound and look like the Ty Richardson that I've come to know over this last year.
Maybe it's the back-to-back hottie toddies these last couple nights, or the Baylor-Oklahoma top 10. I think it's the top 10 matchup that I'm going to see tomorrow, or the fact that it's finally Friday and there's a bye week, so we're not having to work both Saturday and potentially Sunday as well. So I'm excited for the weekend. I'm excited for today. We're going to have a good show today, Phil, especially off some of the comments that I heard yesterday that we're going to play back on today's program.
Oh, some of the comments, some of the things that we heard from Barry Lenny Jr., maybe some stuff that we heard involving a potential next Arkansas football coach. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Get with us on halftime up for the next couple of hours. Texts and calls. And what do you think about the idea of Butch Jones being the next Arkansas football coach? I'll say this. I don't know what the administration at Arkansas thinks about it. I don't know what Hunter Yurachek thinks about it. But you certainly do understand that Butch Jones's agents have a thought that they believe that Arkansas would be a good landing spot for their client, who's in his second year as an offensive analyst working for Nick Saban. Saban's got this whole refurbished coaches program that he's been running over these last number of years, and Jones is, I guess, the next man up as a $35,000 a year analyst, which allows him to pull in, continue to pull in that large buyout that the University of Tennessee is forced to pay. It seems like I've heard a story like this before. But Brett Bielema's name not getting thrown around as potential head coach in college football. Butch Jones is. You'd already told Rutgers thanks, but no thanks. But he wants to stick around the SEC, and his name was mentioned by Stephen Godfrey from Banner Society yesterday. So you look like you're itching and ready to play this clip, Ty. So why don't you go for it, and we'll see what we think of it.
His name that may be interested and or a viable candidate at Arkansas.
Oh, that would be one noted Alabama analyst, Butch Jones.
Why viable?
Viable because does Arkansas want to go with another G5 coach? Do they want someone? Do they feel like they need someone who can come in and say, I've won in the Southeastern Conference. I've beaten this team. I know how to do this. I've won this recruit out of the city of Memphis. Do you need someone like that if you're Arkansas? And if you do, and you are Arkansas, to sort of say it in a disparaging way for a second, can you get someone that's like Butch Jones but not Butch Jones? I mean, other than, of course, Houston Nutt, who's been openly lobbying for the job.
So there's a couple things I want to say about this comment. Number one, that was on Midday 180, which is at 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. It's a really good midday show. I've gotten a chance to meet Paul Gaharski, Jonathan Hutton, Chad Wither, the host there. Really good guys. They run a really good show. Number two, I've also got a chance to meet Stephen Godfrey. Banner Society is the college football element of SB Nation, Phil. They have a lot of good content out there, some good, some bad. And I'm trying to put in perspective what he is. Like, he gives out a lot of good information. He's a really good college sports and college football reporter, but he also is an Ole Miss grad. He also can be known to be a little sarcastic and funny at times. And this also should be pointed out. CAA, do you know where their location is? Nashville, Tennessee.
That's where the headquarters of CAA.
Correct. So
doesn't Jimmy Sexton work at CAA
correct.
under his own auspices?
And I don't know if he lives in Nashville or whatever, but that is the offices or whatever. I actually heard Dudley talking about it on Ruskin and Zach yesterday because he's going to visit his son there. I think his son potentially works in the artist division, but I don't buy this. And I think we've already gotten a bunch of Facebook messages from different listeners. Bradford Roberts is saying, do we not remember UT? Josh Blade says no. Heath Park says, I think I just threw up.
I think everybody remembers UT and remembers some of the, kind of ridiculous platitudes that Jones became known for.
Yeah.
What was it? Champions of life.
A trash can, the turnover trash can.
Yeah, you don't need any of those sideline gimmicks at Arkansas. Not after the championship belt and the biggest gimmick of all, Club Dub. But, hey, there's truth to the idea that the guy's got himself a handful or two wins in the SEC. But things obviously didn't work out at Tennessee. Kind of blew up in spectacular fashion. But, look, the guy did win 9 games at Tennessee twice. It's not like you're going to repeat that sort of success in back-to-back years at Arkansas. And, obviously, I think the expectations at Tennessee, whether right or wrong, go beyond what I think expectations are for the next head coach at Arkansas. But it's a guy that's won at 2 programs before moving to Tennessee. At Tennessee, did have a winning record. Nothing spectacular. Did get them to 3 bowls. But I mean, here's the thing. So, I mean, you see this reported as that Butch Jones is, quote, being considered at Arkansas. He's not being considered at Arkansas. This is agents that are planting the story
correct.
That they want their client to be considered at Arkansas. Right now, with 3 weeks left in the regular season, I don't think anybody's being seriously considered. This is the time when the groundwork is being laid, when you're doing your research, and this is agents getting a guy's name out there more than anything.
I agree with 100%. Folks, do you remember the Greg Schiano to Tennessee backlash that was received? John Curry was the athletic director at the time, and there was a thought out there that they were collecting the prints, collecting the ideas, collecting the signatures that Greg Schiano was going to be the next Tennessee head coach. And that idea was met with such backlash that it ended up not coming to fruition.
Well, and it cost Curry his job.
Correct. And I think, Phil, if Butch Jones was actually realistically in consideration for the job, I think you would have a similar type of backlash from Arkansas fans directed towards Hunter Yurchek and the Arkansas football program.
Well, it probably wouldn't be universally celebrated at the outset. Now, that whole soap opera, that came at the end of Butch Jones's tenure, right? I mean, I guess it would be poetic to have the same sort of soap opera follow him to the next job, wherever it is that he does go. But hey, it would be a realistic name if you were to just take the name Butch Jones out and you just say, we got a coach. He's been at 3 other universities, one kind of a lower level Division I FBS program, another one which is a good program in the American Conference. The other is an SEC program, and he has 2 seasons of 10 wins, 3 other seasons of 9 victories, has coached to 6 bowl games. What would you say? Would you say, yeah, to me that sounds like a guy who's won at multiple places and has wins in the SEC. If you didn't know that was Butch Jones, doesn't that sound like somebody that you would consider at Arkansas?
It's just the perception. Perception is everything in college sports, and the perception of Butch Jones is that he can't get it done in the SEC. Regardless if something were to happen in Arkansas where it would turn the other direction and he actually would find success, I don't think that would happen. I think the majority of our listeners would agree with me on that. The perception is, Phil, he is not the guy to take you over the top at Arkansas. And I think most college football people would tell you that as well.
So then what makes that any different from Lane Kiffin? You know, somebody that hasn't been able to get it done at multiple stops at top-level, powerful programs, SC, Tennessee. Is it the age thing? That's the thing that I guess follows Lane Kiffin along a little bit more, and the thought that maybe a guy's matured a little bit, and I'm not sure if anybody feels that about Butch Jones, but you could still be a champion of the game of life. You can also be a champion in shopping for an RV at Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. Let Breeden RV take the stress away from the holidays with a new or used RV. They'll even let you pick your deal. You get your choice of either sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cashback, or more for your trade. You choose the deal that suits you best. And every new RV at Breeden comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life. Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren, BreedenRVs.com for more information. We want your calls and texts throughout the show today. The Cherokee Casino hotline is 877-377-6963, and we'll be right back.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
The lines are getting ridiculous in the bathroom, and people who don't want to spend money on water, they go in and refill their cups inside of the sink, and it's tap water.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out the people out there in the
I'm not refilling my water bottle in the bathroom sink at the stadium. I'm sorry. No.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Fall is my favorite time of the year. Football, fine weather, and my chance to flip the lot. We're out to sell every single car in our Rath Road Ready inventory and flip the lot during our fall clearance. That's right. Every vehicle must go. To make it happen, we're discounting our entire inventory with savings up to $4,300 below retail. Even our special purchase vehicles are included, like 2018 Hyundai Elantra SELs for only $13,991. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and 50% off brake pads. Don't miss out on the savings. Help us flip the lot. Get the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you and save up to $4,300 during the fall clearance at Arkansas's #1 rated and reviewed independent dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
We did it again. Evans Body Shop has been voted the best independent collision repair shop in the River Valley for the 2nd year in a row. None of it would have been possible without our top-notch crew and our customers, friends, and family that take their time to vote for us. We would like to say thank you. We are humbled by the continued loyalty and support from our community and staff and will continue to go above and beyond every day. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren. Come by today and see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Right now, I'm holding a perfectly ice-cold Coors Light. You know how I know it's the perfect temperature? Because the mountain on the can is blue. And also, it's really cold. Every Coors Light is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged. Notice how many times I said cold? 3 times. It's that cold. So make sure the mountain on your can of Coors Light is blue, because that means it's ready to enjoy. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Make-A-Wake Boat Sales and Service is not only where you can get your next Yamaha or Skeeter boat, they also carry a huge selection of bait and tackle. Find whatever floats your boat at Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle. They carry tons of top brand lines of rods and reels and everything you need to gear up your tackle box, from Strike King, Kitech, and Zoom to Sunline and War Eagle products. Make finding your next Yamaha or Skeeter boat an easy catch with Make-A-Wake Boat Sales and Service in Van Buren, 4806 Alma Highway in Van Buren, and makeawakeboats.com.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Hicks going to throw off, play action, back shoulder, end zone, touchdown Arkansas! Mike Woods, 13 yards, and Arkansas grabs the lead.
Back on Halftime on a Friday, the Ides of November. We are at the halfway point here in the second to last month of the year, and things going by awfully quickly. Phil Elson, Ty Richardson, and our Cherokee Casino hotline open for you for the next hour and 45 minutes. Well, we've got Aaron Torres joining us in about 15 minutes, so you can't take any of AT's time. So we'll block off 12:30 to about 12:41 to talk with our friend Aaron Torres. Ty, I thought maybe we'd give AT a choice of topics of conversation. Does he want to go with college football, which is near the end of the regular season, or does he want to get into college basketball, in which you've got a lot you could talk about, certainly with Arkansas basketball and the lockdown defense. I'd be interested to see what AT thinks about Eric Musselman's pedigree as a defensive coach specifically. You've got the situation over in Memphis, where James Wiseman is declared ineligible again. And, of course, I don't know, I'd say that AT keeps Kentucky close to home, but he does write for a lot of Kentucky fans at Kentucky Sports Radio. And to be beaten at home as the number one team in the country by one of your former players who was part of a championship team, Walter McCarty, that's that's angst. I think that's some angst. So I think we give AT a choice. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Phil, I don't know if you're talking about college basketball. There was a really good college basketball game on last night. Michigan State went to Seton Hall, and you got to see two of the best players in the country, Miles Powell and Cassius Winston, go head-to-head, and it was a fantastic game. Winston hit a big three down the stretch at the end. But I'm really – and I do this when Arkansas football is not invested nationally in the conversation. I drift away from it a little bit and start watching more college basketball, especially since it's our Arkansas basketball team. They've started out so strong on the defensive side of things. Well, they got some votes in the AP poll this week, and I think people are just starting to get a little more invested in that because of how the football team has been this year.
You know, the one way that college basketball stands out from any other sport, I think with the exception of baseball, is that there's always a game on. Once the season starts, there is always a game on. If you just need to have a game on when you're going to bed or getting some work done or just hanging around the house and looking for something to watch, and you don't have a show that you're binging or anything, there's always a college basketball game on, like always. So at least it's in the back of your mind. So, yeah, we're getting into it, and I think with you're right, with Arkansas football in the state that it's in, makes a little more sense.
I get to, let's see, December 7th. We just bought our tickets yesterday. Colorado is going to Allen Fieldhouse to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. And Rita, who works with us here at ESPN Arkansas, her son Jeremy is the video coordinator for the Kansas Jayhawks. And he actually played for Bill Self back in the day. So one of the luxuries of having that connection is Rita so graciously offered me and my friends to talk to Jeremy. And so we are actually getting a tour of Allen Fieldhouse earlier.
Good for you.
I am so excited about that. Get to see the Kansas Basketball Hall of Fame.
You'll get to see the original rules of basketball, which are located inside that building.
Yeah, there's a great 30 for 30. We're a big-time Kansas booster and a big-time Duke booster. Went head-to-head for those rules, the bidding of those rules. But, I mean, that's one of the more historic, more, like, incredible college basketball venues. I mean, You think of Cameron Indoor. You think of Allen Fieldhouse. You think of what's North Carolina's Dean Smith Center?
The Dean Dome.
Yeah, the Dean Dome. Obviously, Bud Walton it's got a lot of significance. It hasn't been as significant lately because of the team, but I'm real excited, and that just is kind of added to the hype for this college basketball season, Phil.
Yeah, Allen Fieldhouse is really cool. I don't remember if it was last year or this. I think it was 2 seasons ago, Mike Neighbors' first season. The women's team played at Kansas as part of a Big 12 SEC challenge. And, I mean, it's a big arena. I think it's close to 20,000 seats, if not more. Not a suite in sight. No suites at all. I mean, it is an old-fashioned building that is built for watching basketball, not for entertaining clients, not for hanging out, for just for watching basketball. I think that's perfect for somebody like you. I think you'll dig this place.
Yeah, we have corner, decently high-up seats, but it's not Iba Gallagher for those who have been to Stillwater and seen a basketball game where it almost feels like you're on top of the court. But when it rises up, it does have that kind of appeal. And our Airbnb, Phil, that we just booked for dirt cheap, it's like $30 something for each of us. It's a mile and a half from the arena. Good. So we're like in the perfect proximity to Allen Fieldhouse and then the Lawrence Bars as well.
Lawrence is a cool little town. I did enjoy it. And if you get a moment, go look at the high school stadium that the football team plays at. I mean, I don't know what the Kansas football stadium name is, but it should be, like Kansas North, because it's a dump for it's a dump for football. The basketball arena is old. I'm assuming their baseball park is a hole, but the campus is cool, and I think you'll enjoy visiting Lawrence, Kansas. All right, but Arkansas football does play next week. Barry Lenny Jr. gave a brief press conference to the media yesterday. He just seems so comfortable in front of these people because he knows them. I think he's known a lot of these guys for years, guys like Tom Murphy and Bob Holt and Nate Allen and Mike Irwin. They've followed Lenny's career from soup to nuts, so there's no awkward moments. He does talk about Bumper Pool being absent from the workout, a yellow non-participation jersey on Tuesday. And these were Lenny's words, said a little bit of a regular muscle injury, so nothing, I guess, to get all tied up about for Bumper Pool. So he'll use the open date to get ready for next week. No music again in practice, so that stays the same. And he even threw. He said he answered the question about quarterbacks before the media even could ask about it, knowing full well that would be one of the topics discussed. He even said that his son asked him who would be the quarterback at breakfast that morning, and he said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you because we're just going to hold it under wraps for now. But there's a good chance." He even brought out the name Jack Lindsey. He said,
"No."
He said, well, he wasn't talking. I don't think he was talking about playing Jack Lindsey, but there was another. There again is another name thrown out there, maybe as a smokescreen or something, just so he doesn't have to talk about the other 4. But I think there's a legitimate chance you'll see 3 quarterbacks play against LSU. I guess the question is who starts, and for me, the only answer you can go with is KJ Jefferson. This is the guy who I think needs to play for multiple reasons, to develop, to have a chance maybe to grab the reins for next year. And I know that you are very hesitant, Ty, of the thought of Jefferson getting his first career start in a night game at Death Valley against the number 1 team in the country. But, hey, you throw him right into the fire, see what happens. I don't think that one game against the top-ranked team in the country, even if it's a poor game played by KJ, would destroy his confidence for next season. I think this is a moment where you got to give the kid an opportunity to get out there and play against the best and not exactly say this is where you stack up, but let him get used to facing talent like this.
Well, I think if you look at what Alabama and LSU this past game, and I know Tua has a little bit of injury and he's probably 70 or 80%, but even Tua didn't look up to speed against this LSU defense. I mean, this is a squad maybe not as talented as that 2011 team, but they have studs everywhere. Derek Stingley Jr., a 5-star All-American quarterback. Grant Delpit back there, one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in college football. There are dudes everywhere. And I know they lost Michael Divinity, who has decided for personal matters that he's not going to play the rest of the season. But to play in Death Valley, maybe you can just hope that they will be overlooking Arkansas. And I just think it's not what you want to instill. Like, there's no confidence that's going to be instilled in KJ Jefferson his first game in Death Valley against the number 1 team in the country. This is not going to be like 07 where you have Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Payne Hillis running roughshod all over LSU's defense. This is not going to be even close to that. And so they're going to torch Arkansas. Joe Burrow's going to throw all over that defense. And then on the other side of things, Dave Aranda is going to eat KJ Jefferson alive. That defensive coordinator is going to have so many different blitz packages, different coverages, ways to disguise that a freshman just isn't ready for. That's one of the best defensive coordinators in college football, and he is going to get absolutely burned.
Let's have a moment of reality here. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is next Saturday.
That's fair.
Whoever it is going to get swarmed. Won't be able to keep up with the best offense in the country. And even if it's a guy with all the experience of a Ben Hicks or the arm strength of a Nick Starkel or whatever John Stephen Jones brings to the table as a quarterback, or KJ Jefferson, whether you're experienced or you're a rookie or you're making your first start, it doesn't matter. They're going to be confused one way or the other. You haven't seen anything from Ben Hicks to make you think that he truly has a grasp of what's going on with this offense or has the confidence of his teammates that he can get much going offensively. Starkel's been lost for a long time. John Stephen Jones looked like a complete amateur last week against Western Kentucky. KJ Jefferson is a true freshman. Ty, you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't. That's what it comes down to against the top-ranked team in the country.
You're exactly right. It's a no-win situation for whatever quarterback you decide to put in there, Phil.
Well, we got a great giveaway going on at hitthatline.com right now. Branson Convention and Visitors Bureau plus ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com have a Branson getaway for the holidays for you. It's only for one of you, though. 3 nights at a Hilton Hotel. Tickets to a Christmas show. You'll go to the North Pole Adventure at the Shepherd of the Hills, a Christmas music Ferris wheel ride from the Track Family Fun Park, and Branson Restaurant gift cards. You know what's going on in Branson. It's the live entertainment capital of the world, and it's just a short drive from all of our listening audience. All you got to do to enter is go to hitthatline.com. All you'll enter is your name, your email address, and your phone number. You can do it once per day up until December the 10th. You got to be 21 or older to register. That's on hitthatline.com. Our friend Aaron Torres coming up next. We're going to pick a topic with AT. Stay tuned.
Just a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold. Or Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Come join us this Saturday, November 16th, 10 to 3 at Kofer's Boat Center's Open House and Model Year Preview event. Expanded indoor showroom, roughly 100 boats on display. Garmin factory booth and product demos. Meet Triton Pro Angler Fred Urbanus. Minn Kota and Humminbird product trailer on site. Factory reps from Lowe and Triton Boats. Crappie and bass fishing seminars. Year-end sales event, boat discounts, and overstock accessory and pro shop sale. We'll also have free food, family activities, games, raffles for trolling motors, and more. More information on our website, Kofers.com, or find us on Facebook.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith.
See MichelinMan.com promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
Arkansas Valley Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency fulfilling all your insurance needs since 1931. Insure your home, auto, farm, commercial property, and your life and health with one of the many companies represented by Arkansas Valley Insurance. Companies like Liberty Mutual, Foremost, Travelers, Columbia, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Safeco, MetLife, and many more. Visit Arkansas Valley Insurance Agency locations in Danville, Charleston, Boonville, and Mena. You can also contact us at arkansasvalleyinsurance.com.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Whaley, he gets the call, fighting for the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas! Devwa Whaley goes the final yard as the Hogs march 64 yards in 10 plays to take the lead.
Time to talk with Aaron Torres, our usual Friday guest around this time on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. AT covering all things college athletics and the NFL, NBA, Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio, and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. What's up, AT? How you doing?
The only thing I don't talk is college baseball, which ironically might be the most relevant topic on this show, unfortunately, but I still appreciate you guys having me nonetheless.
It's the second most used topic even around now, because baseball, Arkansas has the top recruiting class in the country for baseball, AT. Watch out. Don't open the door for me with that.
Hey, listen, Phil, at some point we got to talk off air. I'm amazed by the baseball recruiting process, how you evaluate players knowing that they could get drafted, because I think that these are conversations we're going to be having in basketball in about 2 or 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. So off air, when you get some time, give me a buzz, because I would actually like to pick your brain on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, this is a direction that basketball is going in. You got kids that are going, I mean, Kyrie Walker, the guy he's even looking at Arkansas, I think Michigan and a couple other places. He says there's a chance that he follows Barrett to, what is he playing in Australia? There's others, LaMelo Ball doing it too, going out there. So do you think that there'll be a chance now that we're going to be done with the one-and-done thing sometime soon?
Well, I'm actually not as sold that I think Adam Silver kind of spoke out about it, because I think that's what he thought his league wanted. But as somebody who spends a lot of time going to high school, AAU events, stuff like that, I think now that scouts are actually in high school gyms, they're realizing how much harder it's going to make their lives. So I don't know how pressing it is. I do think it's something that will be an inevitability. And I think what's going to be interesting is I think what we're going to see is a lot of the same stuff we already see in the NBA draft process, which is, as R.J. Hampton, the kid in Australia, said, I didn't grow up wanting to play college basketball. I grew up wanting to play in the NBA. And so I think that we're still going to have a lot of kids out of high school testing the draft waters right up until the selection time to determine if they're going to want to actually play college basketball or take a chance as a professional. So it's going to change college basketball. I don't know when. I don't think it's as pressing as maybe Adam Silver made it seem, but it does feel like that is the trend that we're going. And I think college basketball will, in terms of roster construction and stuff, probably take shape a lot like college baseball.
So let me ask about this situation in Memphis with James Wiseman and
Sure.
Penny Hardaway and the NCAA. And for a while there, it looked like that Memphis and Wiseman were going to fight and really fight tooth and nail against the NCAA. But then Wiseman pulls the lawsuit. The NCAA rules him ineligible, and it just seemed very confusing. What did you make of what's going on there and what you see ahead?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting when the news broke last week. I've interviewed James Wiseman a few times. He's a quiet, humble kid. He didn't strike me as the kind of kid that would want to be the face of kind of taking on the NCAA. And so I wasn't surprised that ultimately at some point cooler heads prevailed and that Memphis, James Wiseman, and the NCAA are now going to work together to try to get him eligible. Two quick thoughts. One, I think it was the right decision. I know everyone on Twitter will tell you, screw the NCAA, give them the middle finger. But the bottom line is I think James Wiseman realized it's not really fair to his teammates. It's not really fair to his university. And I don't know that it's something that he wanted to go through day in and day out, week in and week out, every time Memphis plays being asked the same question. So I give him credit for that. I will also say I'm curious what the NCAA does from their perspective. I mean, look, the obvious answer is, Memphis tried to make you look bad. You hammer them home. I think the NCAA, I really hope that, although I know there's probably not a lot of Penny Hardaway fans in Memphis, and obviously there's some kids that are even the two teams are recruiting head-to-head, I hope the NCAA is a little lenient. I hope they kind of go the Chase Young route. I hope they're fair, because right now with the way things are trending, what we just talked about, kids wanting to go overseas, kids leaving early with eligibility left even though they know they're not going to be drafted, all these lawsuits, bills being passed in courts, I think the NCAA needs a good PR win here. I don't think throwing the book at James Wiseman is the answer, but I'll be curious what they decide to do based on everything.
We're talking with Aaron Torres on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. AT is a college basketball guy that's really well respected in the profession. I had a conversation with my boss Tommy last week. He thinks Chris Moore is a power forward out of West Memphis. He's committing on Saturday. He's deciding between Auburn, Memphis, and Arkansas. And Tommy thinks that Eric Musselman and Arkansas are the underdogs because he's going against Bruce Pearl and Penny Hardaway. In terms of recruiting, I know you don't follow it as in-depth as some other guys, but just the perception you get from Eric Musselman, does he match up well against some of these other studs in recruiting like a Penny, like a Bruce, like a Coach K, like a Bill Self, and on when it comes to recruiting kids in college basketball?
Well, I think, look, what I think is, and it's something I'm sure you guys spent a big chunk of the summer discussing when Muss was hired, is that, listen, he is a guy that his background is in professional basketball, and we think of him as a former NBA head coach. But he spent time in the CBA, he spent time in the G League, and in those leagues, and he's talked about it, at a lot of places, including on my own show, you kind of have to build rosters on the fly. And so he's told me, and he said it publicly in a lot of other places, he wanted to get as good as quickly as possible at the University of Nevada. That's why he took a lot of transfers, a lot of them coming from high major programs. Now at Arkansas, I don't know. I think that he wants to start building more through the high school ranks, but I do think, listen, I think even though he doesn't have the necessary track record of Bruce Pearl, who's been doing this a long time, Penny Hardaway, who's a former NBA All-Star, he's got a heck of a sell, which is that I've coached in the NBA. One, I have a ton of contacts there, and two, I know what it's going to take you to get there. And so I think his pitch is resonating. Obviously, since we last spoke, Moses Moody committed to the University of Arkansas, and with Chris Moore, it's going to be tough. I wonder if all this uncertainty with Memphis maybe helps Arkansas, but I would also just add in the bigger picture that I think the recruiting pitch is going to resonate. Now, it's like anything else. Muss has to win. He has to have success. There was a lot of roster turnover at Nevada because they were taking a lot of transfers. I think he's got to be, more careful about how much actual roster turnover there is. Some of it's obviously in a coach's control. A lot of it is out of a coach's control. But listen, I don't think it's David versus Goliath, Coach Muss throwing stones at Bruce Pearl here. I think he's got a legitimate pitch that is resonating with recruits. Like anything else, you're not going to get every one, but that doesn't mean if Arkansas doesn't get this kid that, that Muss's pitch isn't working or anything. I think it's worked really well so far, and the other returns are good.
All right, AT, last question from me. Is the SEC having a down year in basketball in 2019-2020?
Such a great question, Ty. The three teams that I thought were a cut above everybody else, Kentucky, Florida, and LSU, all have taken a loss. 2 of them have taken a loss at home. So, to me, two have taken a loss to unranked teams. So, to me, part of it is, look, Kentucky was missing a starter the other night, but there's never an excuse to lose to Evansville, and they're probably not quite as good as they looked against Michigan State. But you look across the board, I think not only in the SEC, but in college basketball, Kansas struggled in their opener. We thought they were going to be good. Michigan State obviously has a loss. North Carolina won but struggled the other night against Notre Dame. So I think the top of college basketball maybe isn't as strong as years past, but certainly in the SEC, the teams that we thought were going to be there, the Tennessee or the Florida's, Kentucky's, LSU's, even Alabama losing on night 1 to Penn. This is a wide-open league, and maybe the top isn't as good as we thought, and that could lead to a lot of wins that might not have been expected for a team like Arkansas.
You're detecting some Schadenfreude with Walter McCarty coming back with Evansville to beat Kentucky. You've got about a minute left, AT, but that was one that stood out to me. A guy that won a national title at Kentucky coming back with Evansville to win at Rupp.
Yeah, I had him on my podcast probably about a year ago when he first took the job. And Walter McCarty, he's known as a former NBA player, former Kentucky player, but, he coached for a long time under Brad Stevens in the NBA. He spent a few years with Rick Pitino at Louisville. So he has had some really good people to work under. But talking to him, I just thought that, I thought kind of like Musselman. He played in the NBA. Well, Musselman didn't play in the NBA, but he played in the NBA. He's coached in the NBA, Walter McCarty. And I just kind of think that that's going to resonate with kids. It's a different caliber of kids than in the SEC. And he obviously has them believing because that was an incredible effort at Kentucky. Kentucky probably should have won that game. They had so many chances and just couldn't take advantage. But credit to Evansville, unbelievable game. And as I said, SEC basketball appears to be wide open this year.
All right, AT, we're up against it. Always appreciate you, man. We did no football. We did baseball and basketball here in the middle of November. Congratulations.
Yeah. Let's do it. We'll pick. All right, guys. Catch you. Thank you.
All right, that's Aaron Torres. Hey, Ty, you got those Rocky Mountain cold Coors Lights on ice yet for the weekend?
Ice, cold Coors Light, cold lager, cold filter, cold package. Phil, what do you always do when the mountains turn blue?
I go for 2.
Exactly right, my man. Coors Light, made to chill.
It'll cure what's making you feel ill right now. We'll come back to wrap up the first hour of halftime next.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
Hi, it's David Neal with Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, where we are turning November into Yes-Vember. Come to Van Buren and see why Road Chevrolet is the place to buy your new vehicle. We have new 2019 Silverado Z71s with up to $13,000 off. That's over 25% off new Silverados. Only at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Visit roadchevy.com to see our full inventory. That's RHODES Chevy.com. Prices you'll love, people you can trust. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS 631520.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your number one Arkansas fan.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendinitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Starkle on first down, straight ahead, Boyd, lots of room, to the 40, to the 30, it's a foot race, and Boyd's going to the house. Rakeem Boyd, 59 yards, touchdown Arkansas.
Good article in the Democrat Gazette yesterday, and we did have somebody make sure that we were aware of this, which I think we were already aware of, in a season of just misery for Arkansas football in a year where nothing's gone right, really, on either side of the ball. One thing that has gone right is Rakeem Boyd. With this patchwork offensive line, with a passing game that is just about invisible most of the year, how has Rakeem Boyd averaged over 100 yards per game, especially when he doesn't get the rock as often as say, some of the other better, not better, but some of the other running backs in the SEC. A guy like Kylan Hill, who I think he is second to in rushing in the SEC, and he's gotten a lot more carries. So hopefully Rakeem does get the rock a few extra times these next 2 weeks, because it's been a lot of fun to watch him run. He's got that breakaway speed that I think this team has missed at times. I wonder about his durability to survive in the NFL, though, and that might be one of the reasons he doesn't get the ball more than 15 to 18 times a game.
I think you can be an example of that in terms of your Pittsburgh Steelers. I have James Conner on my fantasy team, and his durability has been a concern early in his career. He's had this nagging shoulder injury that's hindered him the last couple of games. You see the talent every time he touches the football, but sometimes injuries prohibit seeing that talent full-time, Phil.
Connor got out there for a little bit yesterday. I didn't get to watch the Steelers and Browns, but I did listen to the last quarter on my drive back from Fayetteville. It was interesting. Both Pittsburgh football teams were in action yesterday. Pitt beats North Carolina overtime at Heinz Field, and then the Steelers lose to the Browns. But nobody really remembers the final score, 21-7 Cleveland. We all remember this brawl in the end zone at the very end of the game, in which Mason Rudolph. It looked like Rudolph was trying to pry Myles Garrett's helmet off first. Good luck with that, by the way. And then Myles Garrett shows him how to do it exactly, and then attacks him with a deadly weapon. I think it's going to be a long, long time until Myles Garrett plays professional football again. Marquise Pouncey also got banned 3 games with no pay for his part in the fight, in which he tried to punch and kick Myles Garrett.
I didn't have a problem with that at all.
No.
At all.
With him kicking him or with him getting suspended?
No, I didn't have a problem with him kicking or trying to put. That's your quarterback. I have zero problem with him doing that. Now, I have a problem with him getting suspended because I think he's just trying to defend a player. Like, if someone, I would hope that our relationship would be requited in the same way, but if someone, like, threw something at you, I'd try to beat the crap out of him. I mean, that's just how it is.
We'd have to be in the same studio for it to work, though.
Yeah, well, I drive to Little Rock and have to beat the crap out of someone. I mean, that's just one of those things where, like, there's a certain it's a certain camaraderie amongst teammates, and that's why some stars are more loved than others, because if a star goes down or something, Mason Rudolph is not by any means a star, but he is the quarterback. He is one of the most, if not the most important player on your team, and he takes a hit like that. I have no problem with what Pouncey did, and I am a little frustrated that he got suspended 3 games. I mean, that's just defending your dude. That's sports, man. That goes back to the beginning of time when it comes to sports.
I think the league office isn't looking at the circumstances around it. They're just looking at the action of kicking and going with it like that. But this whole thing of Garrett throwing using a football helmet as a club. I mean, these are heavy helmets. And I mean, I've seen on social media some sports fans likening it to a pitcher throwing a brushback pitch, or some of the checks that you'll see against the boards in hockey. It's much different than that. I mean, a baseball can cause a lot of damage to somebody if it's thrown at the right spot. In hockey, I mean, the worst thing you can do, and I've seen this happen before, is use the hockey stick as a weapon and start swinging it around. That's exactly what I see in the same idea of what Myles Garrett tried to do to Mason Rudolph. So, I mean, you throw a baseball at somebody's head, they've got a helmet there, they've got the face mask in a lot of cases now, something that can deflect that away. In hockey, the stick swinging incidents are so rare that you just don't think of them very much. This is singular. This incident with Garrett swinging the helmet around is something that I've never seen before. And if you see the tweets coming from former NFL players or current NFL players, I don't think anybody's ever seen like this before. It stands alone. It really does. It's different. It's even different from Albert Hainsworth stomping on somebody's head, because you would figure that somebody gets stepped on, quite a bit during a football game, even if it's intentional, like it was with Hainsworth. But this swinging the football helmet around, it's almost unthinkable. Again, I think he's done for the rest of the season. He won't play in the playoffs if the Browns happen to come back this year and make it. But without Garrett, let's be honest, they're not making the playoffs, and he probably won't play very much next year. So now that's 2 players. If I'm missing some others, I need to be corrected. There's 2 players that the NFL has banned for the rest of the season. Vontaze Burfict was the other, and that was because of an accumulation of dirty hits that he'd committed over the last few years. And this season, I think 2 or 3. But I guess at least he never swung a helmet around like a weapon.
I think the only other time I've seen it, Phil, is when Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson went at it.
Yeah,
Finnegan was a cornerback for the Titans at the time, and then Andre Johnson was a wide receiver from the Texans. And I've watched a lot of NFL, and I know a lot of our listeners are a lot older than me, and they've watched it too. There's not another instance outside of that I can think of where the helmet has been used as a weapon. Now, I've seen plenty of punches thrown. I've seen plenty of takedowns and stuff like that, but nothing to that extent. And I think I heard Lebatard and the boys talking about it earlier. I think the fact that he landed it helped add to the outcry for it, and it was the quarterback. I don't think people would take as much issue on it, but you know as well as I do, when it concerns a quarterback in this league, especially considering the injuries that we've had so far this season, Mahomes, Breeze, and others, it's been really looked at. And I think that adds to just the outbreak from fans and people wanting that suspension, and they got it for Myles Garrett, Phil.
I remember seeing, and this was I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, an incident from a AAA baseball game. What was the name of this ball player that did this? I can't remember who it was, but he essentially he had been thrown at previously in the game, and then he takes umbrage to a pitch that was a little close to him again, and he kicks the catcher in the face mask. I mean, just a straight-on karate kick right after the catcher caught the pitch, and then he charges the mound. God, this guy did get to the majors at some point, and I can't remember who it was. I think he was a Boston Red Sox farmhand, but, a kick in baseball is something you don't see much. I've seen some bat tosses from the plate to the pitcher's mound. That, to me, almost feels the same thing as throwing a football helmet around the way that Garrett did. But I guess we're surprised that this hasn't happened before. To me, throwing punches, and, Pouncey was throwing punches to the face mask, to Garrett's face mask in the end zone. Throwing punches to a face mask in football is like the stupidest thing you could do. The best you can do is connect with the mask and break your hand. So that, to me, that didn't make a lot of sense. And I grew up going to hockey games, Ty. I don't know if you've been to that many NHL games when you were in Nashville.
Been to like 2.
So, we all wanted to watch fights. It was about watching goals and about watching 2-on-1s and about breakaways and everything. It was all about fights. Let's get real
Slapshot,
here.
baby. That's Slapshot. You want Slapshot 2.0?
You did just watch Slapshot. That's right. The Hanson brothers. That's what they were all about. Old-time Toe Blake hockey, just like Paul Newman's character says over and over in the movie.
Yeah, no, that's what people want. And it's one of the – and listen, I'm a big fan of, like, the old guard of the NBA. I've talked about this before. I like watching the 80s and the 90s when it was really physical. And
the highlight videos people put out from those days.
Yeah, it's so
great.
great.
We forget how – it was what was the game called? There was the video game where Arch Rivals was the name of the game. They had a punch. It was a punch and an elbow in a basketball game. That was 1980s, 90s basketball to a T.
There's like NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, some of the more old-timer games. But you think about some of the legendary stuff. I think about when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Larry Bird used to go at it. There's the Kurt Rambis takedown where McHale clotheslines him when he's going up for a layup. That was just like another level of intensity. And then football-wise, you think about close to home, Steve Atwater, some of the hits and these were not dirty or anything, but just think about the level of just power and punch that you used to bring back in the day with the Steve Atwater hits and some of these big-time players, because they didn't used to care about targeting. They didn't used to care about roughing the passer. It was just a much more physical type game. And I think that Roger Goodell and his team, and then with Adam Silver and his team, then is Manfred the MLB? I always forget Manfred and his team. They're trying to shy away from the less physicality, which I think even some young fans like me kind of want to bring back to a certain extent, Phil.
Well, you know what I did a few weeks ago, Ty, and I think maybe you need to do it too, being that you were just sick. I got a flu shot, and my arm was sore for a couple of days, but I think I'm good to go for the rest of the winter.
Yeah, on Sunday from 1 to 4 here in Fort Smith. Free flu shots with most insurance plans at Baptist Health Urgent Care, 7600 Rogers Avenue. It's where the old pizza used to be. It's now a Baptist Health Urgent Care. It's here in Fort Smith, zip code 72903. Again, you can come there from 1 to 4 and get a free flu shot with most health insurance plans, Phil.
Don't be the lone holdout. These flu shots are only as good as about everybody that gets them. Got to make sure that you inoculate yourself, and that helps the rest of the community stay away from the gosh darn flu. Well, we got one more hour of the week on halftime. 877-377-6963. Your calls and texts on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Stick around. Halftime continues after the top of the hour break.
We wish you happy holidays from Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. The holidays can be stressful. Why not take that stress away with the newer used RV? We'll even jingle your bells by letting you pick your deal. Sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, more for your trade. You choose the deal that's best for you. Remember, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life.
Clark, it's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Thanks, Eddie. Come see us on Alma Highway in Van Buren or visit us on the web at BreedenRV.com.
See dealer for details.
B&J Comfort Solutions provides home comfort and energy solutions to the River Valley, specializing in residential sales, service, and installation, offering only the absolute best customer service around. Call in for any of your service, maintenance, or replacement needs. B&J Comfort Solutions offer an industry-leading 5-year labor warranty on all new system installations. Veteran-owned and operated, and satisfaction is always guaranteed. Contact B&J Comfort Solutions today at 479-646-0284.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mainly clear sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 20s. Friday, a whole lot of sunshine. High temperatures, low 50s. Saturday, plenty of sunshine, low 50s. And then we're going to wind down the weekend on Sunday with lots of sunshine. Our high into the low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Proceed. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bush and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Good morning, Vietnam! Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You
want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on now, Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And one of our listeners, Jacob Durham, on the Twitter machine, reminds us that there has been an incident of a football player using a helmet as a weapon. I don't remember the year this occurred, but it was Florida International and Miami. I think this was at the old Orange Bowl. A melee in the middle of the field in the third period for during an extra point try, which just devolved into one of the craziest on-field brawls that you will ever see. I mean, all sorts of stomping and kicking, helmets ripped off, punches landing, and sure enough, one or two incidents of a football helmet being swung around by a player. You remember this fight, Ty? I don't remember the year, the circumstances around it. You know, you're going to have an FIU versus Miami thing. FIU's going to have that chip on their shoulder, even if the U isn't what the U used to be. They're in the same city. These kids probably know each other fairly well. I'm sure many of them didn't like each other before they even showed up on campus. So do you remember this fight? I remember the incident, but I didn't remember the club being swung around.
So I do remember the fight. I don't remember the helmet being swung like it was. I just remember watching Sports Center and them talking about how Miami has fallen compared to where they were. That instance reminded me. It could have been like Steve Levy or Butch Jones or one of the guys that's been a staple of ESPN and Sports Center for quite some time. That rings a bell, but the actual swinging the helmet like a club does not.
877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. You can also do what Jacob did, which is tweet to me and Ty. I'm at Phil Elson PXP. He's at Ty Sports Radio, and the entire station is at hitthatline.com. All right, so we're in the middle of early signing period for college basketball, amongst some other sports. And already Moses Moody has made up his mind and publicized it. He's going to be an Arkansas Razorback. And now you're waiting to hear from Chris Moore, from Jalen Williams, and K.K. Robinson. Those are the remainder amongst the Fab Five. Devontae Davis already has chosen Arkansas. We mentioned Moses Moody has. So you got who's next up? I think it's Moore, isn't it, this
Correct.
weekend? He's going to make his announcement between Arkansas, Memphis, and what was it, Auburn?
Yeah, so he is down to Arkansas, Memphis, and Auburn. He will be making that decision tomorrow in West Memphis. So if you're in that area and you want to go see it, you might as well venture out there. Moses Moody has yet to decide if he's going to sign early, if he's going to wait till the regular signing period or just sign early. Devontae Davis, he is signing early. He'll be doing that next week, according to our buddy Kevin McPherson. But these next few weeks, folks, are huge for Arkansas basketball. We just talked about Chris Moore. He's going to be signing tomorrow. Fort Smith Northside, Jalen Williams, he's decided he's down between Auburn and Arkansas. He's on the 23rd. And then you have K.K. Robinson, who's deciding between Kansas and Arkansas. That will be November 28th. So really a couple big weeks for Arkansas basketball coming up, Phil.
So it's essentially, I mean, these announcements come about a week apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, we won't plan our days around it, but this is a month that potentially you can point to if you get 4, or like some people think you might get all 5 of them. Imagine what you will think about this month, in a couple of years after these kids have had a chance to settle into Arkansas, gel together. They already know each other fairly well, and some have played together at AAU level. So this could be like the month when Arkansas basketball was not rebuilt, but just turned into something else, where the best players in the state decided to stay in the state. It's been a long time since all of them made that decision.
And I know that you've had people texting you. I've had people texting me. People are getting really excited for this, and they're under the assumption that all of them are coming. Even if you were able to get 3 or 4, that would still be a massive deal for Eric Musselman and his staff. But according to a lot of Rivals and 24 sources, Jalen Williams, 3 Rivals future, has him going to Arkansas. Danny West, who's on the Hog Hustle here on Tuesday nights, he has Jalen Williams going to Arkansas. If you look at Chris Moore, it's about 43% back and forth between Memphis and Arkansas, and Memphis and Rivals. There's 3 people think he's going to Memphis, 2 in Arkansas. K.K. Robinson is a wash, not a wash, as in 7 people from Rivals think he's going to Arkansas, and 7 people from 24/7 think he's going to Arkansas. So it seems like, based on what you've heard, that there's a really good shot that Arkansas could eventually land these 3 kids. But I want to stress still, Devontae Davis is the only one that will be signing next week that is official. He's already said that. We don't know if Moses Moody's going to sign during the early sign period. We don't know if Chris Moore, Jalen Williams, and K.K. Robinson, what their future plans are in terms of signing. So even if they commit to Arkansas, Phil, it's not 100% that they'll still end up there.
877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Aaron in Clarksville texted us a screenshot. And I don't know what service this is coming from or what website it's coming from, but he's asking, are these expectations too high? And the screenshot shows the odds for this website deciding Arkansas has an 80% chance to make the NCAA tournament. They are ranked the 21st team in the country and number 2 team in the SEC. 97% chance to beat Montana on Saturday. We'll preview that game in about 30 minutes or so. They're saying Arkansas makes the NCAA tournament and think they have a shot to get to 23 wins. So are these expectations a little too high? I'll say the number 2 team in the SEC, I think that's overshooting it. I think as the number 1 team in the country, even as right now, I think that's overshooting it. And the odds that Arkansas makes the NCAA tournament up to 80%, that's also overshooting it. This still looks like a borderline NCAA tournament NIT club. And, I mean, it's talk about a little early for bracketology, but Lunardi already came out with his first bracketology, and he's got Arkansas in the first 4, playing Dayton. I guess playing them in Dayton. Good luck.
Yeah, and then if they were to win that game, they would according to Lenardi's prediction, play Marcus Howard at Marquette, which if you haven't watched Marcus Howard play, this is a potential Player of the Year candidate. That would be a really fun game to watch him and Arkansas go at it.
Interesting. His brother played at UCA.
Did he really? Okay.
Jordan Howard, that's right.
So I think Lenardi's prediction is a more accurate depiction of where this team could end up down the stretch. This is going to be a huge bubble team, I think, the majority of the year. And that's why these non-conference games leading up to SEC play are so crucial. If you can somehow steal a win at Georgia Tech, steal a win at Indiana, get your confidence at an all-time high before heading into SEC play. We just had a conversation with Aaron Torres about 30 minutes ago. The SEC's down basketball-wise. There are a lot of people that thought it was going to be better than it was, and I know it's early on in the season, but that could be beneficial for Arkansas to kind of get lumped into that category where, hey, it was thought that Kentucky, Florida, a couple other teams were going to be at the top, way above everyone else, but now it could be more of a middle mix of these teams where Arkansas has a much better chance of not only competing for the SEC, but a tournament spot as well, Phil.
So LSU took a loss. Was it yesterday?
They lost to VCU. Yeah, it was either yesterday or
VCU's pretty good team.
Yeah, and that was coincidentally Will Wade's old school where he used to coach, and there was a couple students that dressed up as FBI informants on the front row. So they had fun with that, messing with their former coach, Phil.
That is a lot of fun. 15th ranked Florida beat Towson by only 6 points at the O'Connell Center. Mississippi State dispatched ULM 62-45, and Vanderbilt drops to 2-1 with a road loss at Richmond 93-92. As far as tonight's concerned in the SEC, a pretty busy day. A&M hosting Gonzaga. Gonzaga is the 8th ranked team in the country. Alabama on the road in Kingston, Rhode Island, playing URI. South Carolina hosting Cleveland State. Ole Miss has Western Michigan. Georgia is this is part of the Maui on the mainland tournament, so it's being played in Athens, but part of a Maui tournament. Go figure. Playing Delaware State, and Auburn hosting Cal State Northridge. It's what's going on in the SEC. Of course, Arkansas and Montana on Saturday. This is a Montana team, by the way, that's won 26 games 2 years in a row, but they don't have a lot of the players that took them to the tournament the last 2 years. They're a little bit in rebuilding mode, but we'll preview that in just a little bit. Halftime brought to you by Breeden RV in Van Buren. The clearance sale continues, and while holidays can be stressful, Breeden can help you take that stress away with a new or used RV. They'll even let you jingle your bells by letting you pick your own deal. You can choose either sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, or more for your trade. Whatever works for you best, you tell Breeden what it is, and they'll do it for you. Plus, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life. Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren, BreedenRVs.com. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Get with us after the break.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
You know, somebody actually texted into yesterday with a conspiracy that Jerry Jones is going to make sure that Urban Meyer is hired at Arkansas for 4 years, and then after 4 years, he's going to fire Jason Garrett at the Cowboys, and then he's going to make Urban Meyer the head coach of the Cowboys. And what's weird is I actually didn't totally think that was the craziest thing I've ever heard when it comes to conspiracies.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Back again with our good friends at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH, everything wireless. If you're worried about bundling internet service with satellite TV, Ben, you offer every kind of internet, and you can offer a discount when you make the move to DISH right now.
Now, call WOW now or go to wowfastinternet.com. That's wowfastinternet.com if you live in rural areas south or east of Fort Smith and you need high-speed streaming internet. If you live in the city, call us at 877-305-DISH or go to wowfastinternet.com. We offer all forms of internet, and you can bundle it with DISH and save big with a 2-year price guarantee this weekend.
And, you know, it's so important because really those technologies go together anymore where they interface directly every day for all kinds of applications.
Yeah, for the DISH voice remote that you get free this weekend when you sign up for service, you need internet. To stream live and recorded TV, that's one advantage of DISH. You can stream all your DVR recorded events, but you need internet at your home. Call World of Wireless. We offer all forms of rural, in-town, high-speed internet, but you got to call us this weekend.
877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
We wish you happy holidays from Breeden RV in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. The holidays can be stressful. Why not take that stress away with the new or used RV? We'll even jingle your bells by letting you pick your deal. Sales tax paid, no payments for 6 months, holiday cash back, more for your trade. You choose the deal that's best for you. Remember, every new RV comes with Breeden's exclusive free maintenance for life.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Thanks, Eddie. Come see us on Elma Highway in Van Buren or visit us on the web at BreedenRV.com.
See dealer for details.
You're born amazing, but sometimes life can bring the unexpected. That's why the emergency departments at Baptist Health Fort Smith and Van Buren are dedicated to providing the most trusted care to the Arkansas River Valley region. With a 30-minute or less wait time promise, backed by Baptist Health's comprehensive healthcare system, it's the rapid care you and your family can trust when it matters most. For the care that keeps you amazing, call 1-888-BAPTIST.
Rediscover old world cuisine, charm, and a romantic atmosphere at Wiedeker Wine Keller Restaurant. Wiedeker's is the perfect treat for any occasion, whether it's close friends, family, or a perfect night with your special someone. Enjoy unique Swiss, German, and American entrees while sampling Wiedeker's award-winning wines. Celebrating 52 years as an Arkansas tradition, Wiedeker Wine Cellars and Wine Keller Restaurant open 7 days a week on Highway 186, 4 miles south of I-40 at exit 41.
Right now at Randall Ford, get 0% for 72 months on a new 2019 Ford F-150, plus $1,000 special retail bonus cash. But that's not all. How about up to $13,000 off MSRP? Or how about only $299 a month? That's it. Just $299 a month for a brand new 2019 Ford EcoSport. Only from Randall Ford, America's 4th oldest Ford dealer. Stop in today. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
In this moment, who has your back? Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your insurance agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with who? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when the bad stuff happens. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Call Kohler and Green Insurance in Fort Smith, 484-9888, or in Van Buren, 474-9888, and online at kohlergreen.com.
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Play fake, gonna throw a fade, left side, knocks at the goal line, complete, touchdown Arkansas! Trey Knox, 24 yards, and just like that, the Hogs are in the end zone.
60-32, Arkansas nearly doubling up ORU. ORU forced a shot. Sarah Garvey misses a layup. Rebounded by Tolfree. Alexis driving in, kicking out. Daniels, three-pointer up and down. That's Michaela Daniels, freshman out of Frederick, Maryland, who scored 27 points in her third collegiate game last night at Bud Walton Arena, helping lead Arkansas to a 96-64 win over what's expected to be a pretty good Oral Roberts club. Daniels had scored 11 points in each of the first two games, had been focused more on dishing out to her teammates and handling the basketball, but played the full 40 last night, scored 20 points in the first half, hit 6 of 7 three-pointers, 8 of 11 shots from the field, and nailed 5 of 6 free throws, all while not turning the ball over once and drawing 6 fouls. So this is an interesting player, Ty Richardson, on a team that you knew Mike Neighbors was returning an extremely dangerous scorer in Chelsea Dungy, adding another dangerous scorer in Amber Ramirez, the transfer from TCU. Alexis Tolfree can seemingly go off at any moment. And now you've got Michaela Daniels, a freshman point guard who definitely does not play like a freshman. She is built a little bit stouter than you would expect a freshman to be. She's definitely got some muscle tone on her. She handles herself wonderfully and is not too outspoken, also not too big for the moment. She's really, really polite, almost painstakingly so, to the point where when I met Michaela for the first time, it was at a practice a couple of weeks ago at Bud Walton Arena, and I want to introduce myself to all the players that I'm going to be covering. And we're done with practice, and I'm walking out next to her, and I'd say, "Hi, my name's Phil, and I do radio for your team." And she says, "Thank you very much." Alexis, no, it was Jalen Mason, starts telling her, that's when you're supposed to say, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Michaela." She says, "Well, I'm thanking him for doing the radio for our team. That's pretty important." I'm thinking, there's no freshman in the country that would think to thank the radio guy other than just for the thought that he's here to publicize your team. And maybe she also understands that I've got the power to say some really nice things about her on this radio show and on the radio broadcast.
Power of the broadcaster. Yeah.
That's right. But if she keeps playing the way she does, Ty, she's going to have a lot of fans at Arkansas and beyond for the foreseeable future. And at the top of the list would be her head coach, Mike Neighbors, who had this to say about her after the game.
If you saw this kid play during the summer, you already knew this, and it's a great week for this to happen because of recruiting rankings and all the stuff that we talk about during this week. Nobody had heard of this kid because of this where she played until after her senior year. So it's a great example for kids to look out there, and if they're not a 4-star or a 5-star or whatever, just keep your head down and keep playing and find the right fit, and that's what happens. But she's a big-time scorer. She scored 47 as a sophomore in her state high school finals, so she's got more in her, I promise you.
Yeah, and we'll have a chance to see what she does against Stony Brook at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Mike had said, look, she wasn't a 5-star or even a 4-star player out of Frederick, Maryland, and that usually Miss Basketball Maryland plays at either Maryland or Notre Dame or even UConn in some cases. So to get her to come to Arkansas, to Mike, felt like a pretty big coup. So, they scored 101 against McNeese. They expected a much tougher game against Oral Roberts, but the Hogs pretty much did exactly to ORU what they did to McNeese. Scored no fewer than 23 points in any one period. Shot 43% for the game. 17 of 32 behind the three-point line. Tolfree, Ramirez, and Daniels combined for 15 three-pointers. That's 3 players combining for 15 threes. A very impressive performance by Arkansas women's basketball yesterday. The 22nd ranked team in the nation, improving to 3-0 this season. All right, so this petition that I've seen started about Bobby Petrino. Can we get an idea along that really nobody cares about your online petitions? Nobody does, except the people that are signing them. There's not a single person in the athletic department at Arkansas that is paying attention to this ridiculous petition. So it doesn't matter how many people put their digital signature on the Bobby Petrino petition. He's not coming back. He shouldn't come back. He doesn't belong at Arkansas. It's not the guy for the job. Stop this ridiculous petition, please.
Not a fan of it? It's got over 11,000 signatures, Phil.
Doesn't matter how many signatures it have. This thing matters not at all. There's about 50,000 other things that have more importance to Arkansas football than this ridiculous petition.
Well, according to some people, according to some fans, his transgressions were, let's say, forgivable, and that I just think I don't think people understand like the full. Like
he put the university in legal jeopardy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he put them in legal jeopardy. This isn't about him sleeping around on his wife. This isn't even really about how miserable of a person that he was. It isn't even about the idea that the crocodile tears that he shed, whether they were real or not, at the Little Rock Touchdown Club matter not. It's not also the idea that somebody deserves a second chance. He got his second chance and crashed and burned at Louisville. He put the university in legal jeopardy. You don't rehire somebody that put your organization in legal jeopardy, no matter how many games he won. The last thing you want from this hire, the last thing you want from this next football coach is to bring controversy with him. And hiring the guy that put the university in legal jeopardy is the definition of doing exactly that. This petition does not matter at all.
I'd love for someone to call or text in to us on the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963, and justify why Bobby Petrino should be the next head football coach at the University of Arkansas, because I think we could shoot it down pretty quick. I mean, it's obviously easy enough to comment on social media, bring Bobby back or something. But when you actually want to justify and lay out reasoning behind bringing back Bobby Petrino, this is the perfect platform to do it. I don't think we've had many, if any, people call in and say to bring him back. Looks like we got a call right now, so I'll go and take that, and we'll see if we can get something going with this, Phil.
Good. Let's get a reasoned argument for why Bobby Petrino should be given another chance at the University of Arkansas. A chance that, by the way, he's not going to get. There's more of a chance of me growing a tail out of my forehead, like this cute puppy that I saw on social media the other day. I would grow a tail out of my forehead before Bobby Petrino is hired as the head football coach at the University of Arkansas. Brent in Fort Smith, he's on the Cherokee Casino hotline. Brent, did you put your name on this petition?
No, I hadn't even really heard about it. I guess, and I was a fan of Bobby. That was a great time, and when he was coaching us to those 21 wins there in those last 2 years. But he, made some mistakes. I'm not saying we need to bring him back, but I do have a little bit of seems like a double standard with your statement about the legal jeopardy. You really emphasize the legal jeopardy. We just named our basketball court after someone who took us to court. So
there's a difference between
let me finish. You can have your reasons for not wanting, but the legal jeopardy never happened. The 50 people that could have sued never did, and if we would have given them all, let's say $500,000 would be 50 times $500,000 would be $25 million. I think we'd probably still be money ahead if he were here. So your whole legal jeopardy argument, to me, definitely doesn't ring true when we've just named our basketball court after someone who drug us through the courts for something that was never a fact, and he lost his case and lost his appeal, and yet we named the court. So the legal argument, to me, doesn't apply. If you don't like Bobby because of how he's done things and he crashed at Louisville at the end, then that's one thing. But the legal argument, I had to call in on that because I feel like that's a double standard with what we've done. So give me your explanation as to the difference.
All right, Brent, let me ask you a question. You don't think there was anything justifiable in that court case between Nolan Richardson and the University of Arkansas? You don't think there was any racial we'll go and get on record on this. You don't think there was anything behind that went on at the U of A that was anything?
No. I had personal conversations with Coach Boyles. If Coach Boyles was a racist,
you're getting it from one side. You're only getting it from one side.
Come on, man.
Why did he hire a man of a minority at the age of, I think when Frank hired him, he was 65 years old. So did he turn into a racist? Frank was not fond of Nolan at the end. But it wasn't because of this color of his skin. It's because he had quit recruiting, he had quit coaching, he was not going to Razorback Club functions. There was a lot of reasons he did not care for Nolan, but the color of his skin was not one. And that was the basis of the entire case. So when you ask me, was race part of it? I say no. And I can say that with 100% confidence that Frank Boyles did not turn into a racist at the age of 80.
That's fine. I mean, there's no reason to relitigate that whole episode from 2001, but there's a difference between a personal lawsuit in which it's one party versus the other, and what happened with Petrino with hiring laws in which you're essentially getting the university in trouble with the actual law. Hey, if you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, a new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. The Fence Man specializes in custom installations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. Call about gates or controlled access card readers, and the Fence Man is there for a quick, no-obligations quote. 479-782-3936. That's the Fence Man, a division of Quantum Property Services. Stick around, more halftime after the break.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
You always get more at Or.
We all
always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith.
See MichelinMan.com promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services. Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Fall is here, and at Frank Bro Furniture in November, now is the time to buy. Come in and take advantage of our many made-in-the-USA products. Lift chairs, we have them. Sectionals, reclining sofas, and loves, we have them. Bedroom furniture and mattresses, we have them. We also carry a variety of appliances and TVs. In November, come in and receive 10% off on any purchase. Ask us about our financing programs. We have several options that will meet your needs. Only at Frank Bro Furniture. Best seats in the house.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Upgrade your evening on the Avenue. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Football's out. Razorbacks have picked it up. We're headed back the other way. Picked up by Cam Curl. He's still got the football. Curl's all the way. He's going to the house. Touchdown, Arkansas.
877-377-6963. Your phone calls on the Cherokee Casino hotline. We'll get to that in just a moment. Ty, we're brought to you once again by our friends at Rhodes Chevrolet. What's going on at Rhodes these days?
Well, it is not November, Phil, but it is Yes-Vember at Rhodes Chevrolet in Van Buren. Everything is going, it seems like everything's going on sales right now. Rhodes Chevrolet is inviting you to come see out their best inventory right now. It's Black Friday specials all month long with savings up to $13,000 on a new 2019 Silverado Z71. That's over 25% off. They have new Chevrolet Blazers with up to $6,000 off. And when it comes to finding your new vehicle, visit Rhodes Chevrolet in Van Buren, exit 2A off I-540. They have the prices you'll love and the people you can trust. Rhodes Chevrolet in Van Buren. Find new roads and see dealer for details.
All right, let's go to Leo in Van Buren. He held through the break. Leo, thanks for your patience. What's going on?
Yes, sir. I understand what he was saying about, Bobby Petrino. But I called the show, and I told him either Malzahn or Petrino, and he said the same thing. Now, I know you're talking about the legal, the legal wins of it. Well, this man's been there, done that. He realized what he's doing. Now, I think Bobby Petrino's a lot of things, but I don't think he's a darn idiot. So I really believe the man should be able to come back. The man, everybody makes mistakes. Hey, I'm not condoning what he did, like I said. But you talking about he bummed at Louisville. Let me tell you something. Louisville ain't exactly the breeding ground for talent, man. ain't nobody just wanting to go to Louisville for football. I'm going to tell you right now, he built that down, and then he left, and then it was going to take him a while to build it back when he went back. But here in Arkansas is a breeding ground for talent, man. I don't care what nobody said. We get plenty of talent in Arkansas, and that man's got the mind to get it done, and he's got the remorse, and he's got so many things that we can really use. We could probably get him for a little of nothing. In fact, a little of nothing also, just so he can prove to you that he wants to amend for what he's done. You know, some people are just, hey, shame me once, shame on you, shame me twice, then it's shame on them. But, hey, the guy ain't got that second chance here yet. So I'll hang up and see what you guys got to say.
Hey, Leo, real quick, I want to ask you something before you hang up. Why do you think Arkansas is a breeding talent for football?
Like right now, Arkansas doesn't have a talent problem right now.
Yeah,
man,
they do.
It's just that you're not putting the people in the right place, man. Listen, the only thing Arkansas really need up there right now is some linemen. They need some defense and offensive linemen.
Leo,
that's what they need.
Do you follow recruiting?
The talent position?
Do you follow in-state recruiting, Leo? Do you follow in-state
recruiting? I follow
recruiting?
a little bit.
Okay, well,
and like the quarterbacks, we got the quarterback, but we played the wrong too.
Okay, Leo, if you look at recruiting the last several years, outside of Kentucky, Arkansas has the worst recruiting ground in state when compared to other SEC schools. So, yes, there is a recruiting problem. There is a problem when it comes to talent inside the state. And the easiest talent to recruit, ask any coach, is inside their state of where they are playing or where they're coaching football. So, yes, Arkansas has a talent problem.
And it wasn't that way when Petrino was here.
You had one good year of recruiting. One good year, and you used it the rest of the way.
Well, okay, I understand it. I agree with you. But how about this? You can get him for cheap. You know the man has the mind and the know-how to get it done in this area and win in the SEC. And you know that he's trying to amend and do better from the mistakes he made. I don't see the legal organization. That man is going to be on pins and needles just to make sure he does a good job. So I'll hang up and let you guys go ahead. I couldn't agree with the 11,000.
Leo, appreciate that phone call. So, I mean, why would – so he actually had a pretty good run the second time around at Louisville, but why would they fire him with a couple of games left in the season? Something went down there. The locker room gave up on him, problems with the administration. And that was some of the same stuff I think he faced at Arkansas as well. And look, I mean, a year after he gets let go, before a season is over, something was structurally wrong with Bobby Petrino's coaching staff or just how he was doing things at Louisville, and it's been turned around in 1 year by Scott Satterfield after he leaves from Appalachian State. And the other idea about this, and I feel the same way about those who are opining for Houston Nutt, the ability to move forward is not helped by looking backwards in this case. You don't need somebody who has been a head coach here before just because they've won here. There's somebody else out there, someone who's more progressive, somebody who is somewhere else that might not have ever coached at Arkansas that is a better option than the coaches that have been here before and won. The only reason these names are coming out here is because they've been here before and they've won here before. That doesn't mean they're the right person for this job right now.
You know what retreads in college sports kind of remind me of? Relationships. How many times do you see someone get back into a relationship with someone that they've been in before and it fail? It just seems more often than not when you have a relationship that you know or you've been a part of that you get back into, it fails. And I think the same could be said about college football coaching. We'll see what happens with Mac Brown at North Carolina. We'll see what happens with some of these other retreads in college football. There's just no excitement because most of the time you know the ceiling of that coach, and you know that they're probably not going to get over the previous ceiling that they had in their tenure. That's why it doesn't make sense to hire Houston Nutt, who hasn't coached football in quite some time. I just don't get it, man. But people see these different pregame announcements, these pregame rile-ups, and I admit he is tremendous at that. I just don't see the attraction to Houston Dale Nutt. Phil.
Look, I mean, and the whole Mac Brown thing, I feel is a little different because, I mean, Mac Brown won a national title at Texas. This guy was on the short list of the greatest coaches in college football for a good 10 to 12-year period. It's not the level of Houston Nutt. It's not the level of Bobby Petrino. And hit more to home to me. I remember growing up in Pittsburgh, and the second time around that Pitt brought back Johnny Majors. Johnny Majors coached Pitt to their only real national title of the modern era, 1976. Had a guy named Tony Dorsett running for him. Then he leaves for Tennessee, does what he did at Tennessee, and comes back to Pitt in the early 90s and ran the program straight into the ground. They stunk for the 4 years that Johnny Majors was the coach, and he looked like he forgot what he was doing. It's probably a different circumstance between Bobby Petrino and Johnny Majors. Everybody loved Johnny Majors. I don't know anybody that loves Bobby Petrino. Nobody's got real fond memories of him in a personal sense.
I say his former players have a level of respect with him. We've heard it from Tyler Wilson. We've heard it from Chris Gregg. We've heard it from his other former players. They respect him as a college football head coach. But when it comes to love, enduring nature, and treating someone like a father figure, I don't think Bobby Petrino replicates that. But in terms of a football coach, there's an absolute level of respect from him, from his former players, Phil.
877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Robert's in Fort Smith. Hey, Robert, what's up?
Hey, guys, real quick, I can't agree with y'all anymore about all this Houston nut and Gus Malzahn and Bobby bringing them all back. But my other thing is, the people that want Barry Lundy, I don't want him here either. Because if he was that good, why is he not a higher-type coordinator at another school? And he's not. So he's okay. But, yeah, he played here. But that don't mean he's a head coaching material.
Hey, I think there's
what I'm getting at.
There's definite layers of truth on that, Robert. Yes. What you're looking for at Arkansas is the next coach, not the previous coach, not somebody that brought you previous glory. You're looking for somebody that knows how to win in today's age of college football, not somebody who was good at winning games 15 years ago or even 10 years ago at Arkansas. Somebody that is showing the ability to win now at another program now. That's who you're looking for to be the next coach at the University of Arkansas. I know Mitch is on the line. Mitch, I want you to stay through the break so we can get into the conversation with you during the next segment. Let's see. Just wanted to remind you, Arkansas does play Montana tomorrow. It's Arkansas and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies won 26 games each of the last 2 years, but only returned one starter from last year's team, 6'5" combo guard Saeed Pridgett, who averaged 15 points a game last year and hit over 60% of his field goals. This is going to be a game of two teams that aren't all that deep. Montana's played an 8-man rotation over the first two games. They have a win over Montana State Northern and a loss on the road to Stanford. So we'll see how I think North Texas probably a little bit of a better club, but we'll see Eric Musselman's team in action tomorrow. And, of course, it's heard right here on ESPN Arkansas. And if you're listening to the game, why not crack open yourself an ice-cold Coors Light to enjoy the game with?
The official beer of Saturday mornings, the world's most refreshing beer. It doesn't get colder than this. Cold lagered, cold filtered, cold package. Always has that crisp, ice-cold Rocky Mountain taste, and it's always cold. It's got the cold activated can. That way, when you see the mountains are turning blue, Phil, you're supposed to do something, but I forgot. What are you supposed to do?
Something about two. I think you go for two. Shotgun two.
Yeah, shotgun two. I like that. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's a 4 p.m. tip. Airtime 3:30 tomorrow with Chuck Barrett and Matt Zimmerman. All right, we'll come back with more of your calls and your texts. Stay tuned.
Segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Deer season, duck season, and the holiday seasons are here. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear and gift items for all the season. Firearms, footwear, archery, waterfowl, fishing, cold weather clothing, workwear, work boots, casual shoes and boots, hiking boots, and hundreds of great gift ideas for the holiday season. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Turn November into Yes-Vember at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Hi everyone, David Neal here inviting you to come see our best inventory yet. It's Black Friday all month long with savings up to $13,000 on a new 2019 Silverado Z71. That's over 25% off. We have new Chevrolet Blazers with up to $6,000 off. When it comes time to find your new vehicle, visit us at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, exit 2A off of I-540. We have prices you'll love and people you can trust. Road Chevrolet, find new roads.
See dealer for details.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
At Shelter Insurance, we know landlords have to keep up with their renters, even if they're related.
Mom, Dad, what a surprise! We just dropped by to pick up your
rent check.
Oh, I'm running a little short this month.
Not everything works as smoothly as Shelter's renter's policy. It helps cover stuff in case of fire, theft, and more.
Maybe I should just move back home. Don't you love me? Oh, of course.
But now your room's Dad's man cave.
Oh, man.
Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call me, Ted McAvoy, in Van Buren.
In Fort Smith, call me, Jeff Clark.
Dee's Family Restaurant of Alma at 39 Column Lane across from the water park is now open on Sundays. Breakfast is served all day, and our hot buffet is served from 11 to 8, 7 days a week. Our breakfast buffet is now served from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. every day. All-you-can-eat steak Thursday night, cooked order prime rib Friday night, and a seafood buffet on Saturday night. We have a party room that'll seat 50 and plenty of parking. Call ahead, 632-1014.
Save up to $2,700 or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The holiday sale is going on right now. Every hot tub in stock is on sale with over 60 luxury spas to choose from, and they start at just $26.95. Right now is the time. This includes delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Stay warm and cozy this winter in your brand new hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. It's the perfect gift for you and your family. And right now, up to $2,700 off or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub. And as part of the holiday sale, check out the full line of big green eggs and accessories at Burton Pools and Spas. It's the holiday sale going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
It's football season, and the right play is at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. Their business is quality used cars at a great price, with their #1 goal of passing the savings on to you. The latest makes and models, low mileage vehicles, with an overall experience that can't be matched. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find that there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for?
ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Davis, first down, a bunch more. Here's one of those types of scores as he'll take it the distance. Touchdown, Arkansas. 62 yards.
Our cherry on the top are some football picks for the weekend for the college game between me and Ty, and we'll get to that in a moment. Maybe I should just talk about something else, continue to take some phone calls through this segment because Ty's got me by 15 points right now. I mean, if things go the way that they've been going for the last few weeks, Ty, you are already going to have as big of a lead on me as there are a number of bowl games in which our bowl picks won't matter at all anyway. So I might as well give up and start sucking on that Reaper juice.
I mean, the good thing is we have all these picks ironclad on this Google Doc, so unless you just erased it and inserted different picks for me, I would just forget on Sunday or something when I looked at the scores.
It'd be like a moment from Ferris Bueller.
It'd be savage.
Asked for a car, got a computer, and lowered my absences from 9 times to 2. And all of a sudden, I'm somehow beating you, 23 to 22. You wondered how that happened. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Give us a call so I don't have to put any picks out there and continue to be embarrassed. So I want to show my appreciation to Mitch in Fayetteville for at least giving me a moment to rest without making any picks. Mitch, what's going on? Thanks for calling.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about when you were talking about lawsuits and Nolan Richardson and all that. It just kind of struck me a little bit odd. I think you have to be really cautious, Ty, when you say that there was racism involved in the firing of Nolan Richardson. I know that it's popular in your age group sometimes to think there's racism all around.
Well, Mitch, let me hold on. Let me correct you real quick. Let me correct you real quick. I did not say that. I said, do you? And I forget the caller's name. It's like, do you want to go on record and say there was no racism? Also, I did not make the statement that there's racism involved. With
well, I mean, that's a backhanded way of saying there was racism, and I just think Nolan, certainly when he came to Arkansas, I'm certain that he experienced some racism. He did a great job. He was a great coach. But toward the end, he was not getting the job done, and he was angry, and he said a lot of things. If you look back, I mean, he was saying a lot of provocative things that would cause a guy to get fired. And I
remember he literally stood there at the podium and said, "You can have the job," or he basically threatened to fire him right then and there.
Yeah, and so as good a coach as he was, I mean, at the end, he wasn't. And I mean, and that happens in lots of fields and lots of things, but. He needed to go, but I think we have to be careful from any direction. I think racism is an easy word to throw out, and I think we have to be careful when we say that and use that. And I don't think it's beneficial to the Arkansas program to be going around crying that there was racism at any point. That's just my point. And I appreciate you guys. I think you do a good job.
All right, Mitch, thanks for the call again. I don't think that you, Ty, were insinuating that you thought racism was a part of it. Maybe you took that as a backhanded way of saying that. That's not the way that I took it. And also, I mean, look, the circumstances around the suit between Nolan Richardson and the University of Arkansas and the potential legal trouble that the University of Arkansas could have been placed in by Bobby Petrino hiring a totally unqualified candidate and passing up like over 200 other qualified candidates for a job. That's where you end up putting your university in legal jeopardy by your own decisions as the head coach. It's not like it's being in trouble with the law, not a civil suit. We've got a phone call from Maine, of all places. Jim is on the Cherokee Casino hotline in Maine. What's going on all the way up here, Jim?
Oh, nice and chilly and looking at the snow on the ground. But, I wanted to say something about the Arkansas football coach. First of all, Petrino, if he's that great, how come he hasn't been snatched up by somebody, lately?
Absolutely. I mean, not even by a group of 5 team. Like when he gets kicked out of Arkansas and Western Kentucky says, "We'll take a chance on that." Nobody's doing that right now.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him when he was there. It was great, really great years we had, but he screwed up. You can't lie to your boss and cause all that trouble. But anyway, I kind of hated to see Morris leaving away because a lot of good recruits, and look how many have backed out on us, and that's really got me bothered. 8 now that have backed out?
It's completely depleted, Jim. Like it's not. I mean, it's not even close to being a full recruiting class right now. You're outside of the top 75 in both rivals and 24/7.
Well, and they've lost specifically like all of the signees from Texas, and that was to me that was like the main thing for Chad Morris and his staff was the connections to high school football in Texas, which got blown up, and you got to have somebody that can at least repair that.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to do. That's one reason I was kind of wanting to have him another year, but then again, I could see why they let him go because the team just wasn't. They weren't there any game hardly. They didn't show up, and that's got to be on the coach after a while. And so I don't know who they're going to get. I guess Norvell, is that his name, from Memphis?
I think you're still behind Florida State as far as that's concerned. I think Norvell will be the hot coaching candidate, and I think he'll be. It might be difficult for Arkansas to get him if Florida State does want him, but it seemed like he might be a good hire. Guy with a really good offensive mind, a long track record of success at Memphis, ties to the area. It might make sense.
Yeah, Jim, thanks for the call, man. Phil, he played wide receiver at UCA. His wife has family here. He has family here, and I even heard Stephen Godfrey mention it yesterday on 104.5 The Zone. He was unwilling to address the speculation surrounding Norvell. That's what should worry you as an Arkansas fan. And again, I can't speak to it because none of us know what it actually is. but there is this cloud surrounding Mike Norvell amongst college football coaching circles that he has some skeleton, something in his closet that for whatever reason no one will speak to. Because I don't know if people are afraid to come out and say what they think it actually is or if it actually is something. That should worry you, I think, a little bit, especially since you've had stuff with Bobby Petrino stuff. But it's just weird. Does that strike you as weird at all, Phil? That it's a thought amongst college football circles that this guy has something surrounding him that isn't good for a potential college football program.
Well, I mean, because he's been passed over by a couple of other spots, but he's been granted interviews. So I mean, he's getting a close look. Just hasn't crossed the finish line, so to speak, as far as those jobs are concerned. I mean, look, everybody's got a skeleton in the closet. You know, I mean, even those who portray themselves as perfectly God-fearing men with great families. Exactly. And, some of those things just I think everybody's got a secret. Everybody's got some sort of skeleton in the closet, some sort of cross to bear in a sense. So, and look, if it's all about second chances, if there's something that he did somewhere down the line, I don't know. He's still employed by Memphis, so it must not have been all that bad. I have no idea what anyone's referring to when they refer to, background checks with Norvell and why either Arkansas passed on him or a couple other places did too. I just know he wins a lot of games at Memphis. He's done it in an offensive way, and nothing has been public. Nothing has absolutely blown up an athletic department like you saw with Petrino.
And I think everyone has their vice, just like what you spoke to. Like I cuss like a sailor when I'm off air, and I need to work on that. But I think it's weird that people keep coming back to that particular point, Phil, because college football coaches across the board, there's infidelity rapid. I mean, there are so many things messed up with different college football, and it's just kind of accepted in coaching circles. But it's weird that people, regardless of who talks about Mike Norvell as a candidate, whether it's the Arkansas job, Florida State, wherever, they come back to that point. And it's not even necessarily a point because you can't even go into the point because they won't go into what they've heard or who they've been talking to or anything about that. That's what strikes me as a little bit weird, though, Phil.
Well, I really appreciate the callers for this segment because he was short in the pick segment.
2 minutes.
Beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. Well done, half-timers. All right, I guess we might as well get into the picks, Ty. So I didn't even start thinking about this until about an hour ago.
Fire them off, baby. Let's go.
Florida at Missouri. Now, I know Missouri's been good at home. They have stunk on the road. But the shine is off the Missouri Tigers as far as playing at Faro Field is concerned. Florida's a 6-point road favorite. I'm going to take the Gators.
Alabama's going to Mississippi State this weekend. They're going to run over at least 4 touchdowns. This is going to be a revenge game coming off the LSU loss, Phil.
Let's see. I got Indiana and Penn State. Penn State coming off that humbling loss against Minnesota. The 9th-ranked Nittany Lions are a 14.5-point favorite at home against the Hoosiers. And even with me being a former IU Hoosier, I'm taking Nittany by 14.5.
We were talking about this game during the break. Georgia at Auburn. Georgia is a 3-point road favorite. I think Jake Fromm, I'm taking him over Bo Nix. Georgia's also 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, Phil.
I like to ride the Oregon State Beaver football program as they host Arizona State at Reser Stadium in Corvallis. Beavers are a home dog, 2.5 points. I think they'll cover that.
Big game in Iowa City this weekend. Minnesota coming off their big win against Penn State. PJ's Flex Squad will be traveling down there. Iowa, 3-point home favorite. I think the Hawkeyes pull one out and give Minnesota their first loss of the season, Phil.
All right, Ty. So for my money ball, do I want to do the Georgia-Auburn over-under? The point line is 41 with these great defenses and running games. Or do I want the total opposite, like the worst college football game of the year? UMass Northwestern in Evanston. UMass 1-9, Northwestern 1-8.
Don't bet on Pat Fitzgerald, Phil.
Northwestern's favored by 40.5 points, for crying out loud. I'm going to go with the Georgia-Auburn over-under 41 points. It's going to go under.
I got the over of the Baylor-OU game this weekend. I'll be heading down there after work. Total's gone over last 4 games. Make this number 5. Go Bears.
Ty, feel better. Have yourself a great weekend. Go Bears.
Go Bears. Sick 'em.
All right, we'll be back with you Monday. Thanks to our callers, our texters, and to Aaron Torres. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.